Well, Ali, welcome to the show. Welcome to What Are We Screaming About? Ali Hacock, international referee, got your pro referee on.
Yeah, I coach the referee. Yeah.
And I'm so excited to have you because really one of the reasons why I wanted to have this platform for a podcast was to talk about some of the abuse that referees are taking, that we're losing referees, how difficult it is. So, what is it that we're screaming about? We have to figure it out. And I wanted to start this by saying, I want to be honest and transparent. In my earlier career, I've been coaching soccer now for 30 years, but earlier in my career, I was one of those coaches that was constantly going at referees. What are you doing? Come on, ref. And what changed me, honestly, was my son became a referee, and I heard parents just berating him. And I thought, is that what I sound like? Is that me? And that's what helped me change. And so this whole format for this podcast is hopefully others who might have similar behavior that I had would watch this, listen to this, and say, is that me? Am I one of those people? So let's get it started. What is going on the sidelines? Especially at youth games. 10 years old, 12 years old. What is going on?
I mean, it's, I can have two types of answer. One as a referee, coach, assessor, observer, coach, and one as a parent, because my kids play. Mm-hmm. And I think parents like to live, which is normal, vicarious through to the children. Mm-hmm. And I'm part of it too. But there's a point to it. Some of them, they don't think the long term.
Yeah.
They may notice it 20, 30, 40 years later about their behavior, how they interacted, how they with the young ones, who are like 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, different ages. And they don't understand in the long term the kids.
Right.
They're impressionable. They remember that.
Yep.
They remember the good and the bad and the ugly. And they just have to understand that they need to enjoy the process. Just to be involved. The kids, only 1%, maybe less than that, is making it to a top echelon
exactly.
of the national team.
Yeah.
And even though it's a short term, what they remember that is an everlasting remember is like how their parents, mom and dad, interacted with the referee, with the friend. You could be positive too. You could be positive. As a parent, for example, I coach. One of the problem is also they get involved with coaching. They have no idea. I'm generalizing it.
Yeah, sure.
There are always exceptions. In my opinion, there are people who are parents and who don't know the laws of the game. They don't know interpretation. Most of them. I hate to be mean, but they haven't ever kicked the ball. And they're there game day, and they're putting so much pressure, especially in the younger age. And after a while, the kids say, you know what? Forget about it. I'm going to go PlayStation, Nintendo, or whatever the kids do these days.
That's right.
And in turn, we lose referees.
Yes.
And, I'm involved still, even though I'm a professional coach with U.S. soccer and also professional division in the country, I'm also involved with youth soccer.
Right.
I do the 7-a-side, 9-a-side, because I want to be involved.
Yeah.
And I can handle the coaches, but I'm old-timer.
Right.
But the newer one, the younger one, they say, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Why,
They're going to lose.
Yeah, why come out on a Saturday, Sunday morning to take verbal abuse? Sometimes physical abuse. We're seeing around the country referees that are being followed to their cars or right on the pitch being assaulted. But you said something very interesting, laws of the game. Because when parents, will say to me as a soccer coach, well, you don't know the rules. Well, first of all, do you know the laws of the game? And you're right, living vicariously through their children. And a couple of, again, my opinion, parents pick a couple of terms up, the good one, offsides, ref. Well, it's offside. It's not offsides, number one. But they pick up a couple of terms, and all of a sudden, everyone's an expert. I've never gone into my doctor's office and told my doctor to do X, Y, and Z, but yet on a Saturday or Sunday, every parent knows the rules and knows how to tell you what to do.
Even the laws of the game has drastically changed throughout the years. The interpretation of the offside decisions, every 4 or 5 years they come up. And depending on where you're officiating, is it a CONCACAF game in Central, Northern America, Southern America, or is it Europe in UEFA? And even like a national teams, are you doing the youth game? You got to know who your customers are.
Right.
But you need to know that, and you need to update yourself. Because I remember when I took my entry-level class in 1991, and I thought I know the laws of the game, and I did it, and I failed. And I studied. I had to study to pass the test.
Right.
And that's the truth of the matter is, and even that you have to get updated.
Sure.
You need to pass the test.
Yep.
You can't wing it.
No, absolutely.
You have to know, but then you have to know the laws of the game, interpretation, and use that as a guide.
Right.
For management purposes, But you can bend the laws of the game, but you can't break it.
Right. No.
When the ball, give you an example. When the ball goes out of field of play, you can apply advantage. Why? Because the ball is out of play. If there's a foul, in your opinion, as a referee, you think you can apply advantage for the better of the team, you can do that. But you can't do that when the ball is out of play.
Sure. So what would be ideal? Because so often I hear from coaches, and coaches will say, well, referees are disrespectful to me. What would be the ideal, if there's an ideal demeanor for a referee, maybe when a coach is being a little bit obnoxious, what would be ideal?
Well, before we answer that, let's kind of dissect on so much pressure are in the coaches. Where we are in this wonderful land, there is a lot of heavy emphasis on results.
Right. Absolutely.
Considering that, than comparing with other countries, Europe, other countries. They're there to develop, but they're more concerned about the result. Generally, there are always exceptions.
Sure.
Okay, so when they're making money based on the result, okay, they're just trying to win the games, to have bigger team, bigger clubs, make more money. I could say the development of a youth player is not their primary concern.
Right.
Therefore, they're a lot under pressure, and some of them they don't even update themselves with laws of the game, and they think they can intimidate, the younger ones, and then that's what the problem is. And in the U.S. soccer last year, they came in with a referee abuse policy, and educated through Cal's house and the whole nation also, as far as, hey, you got to report this. You got to report this. And we as a referee have a responsibility to report it also.
Right. Yeah, it's tough, and again, you said it about results. And we're living in society now where it is about results. Everything in life pretty much is about results. But when you have 7-year-olds that are traveling 2.5 hours to go to a tournament, to win that tournament, to get a $5 trophy, you mentioned it. Other countries, it's not so much about results, but yet we're doing all this traveling. So I would agree with you. I mean, you're absolutely right. If you're paying that money, and you're driving 2.5 hours to a tournament, it doesn't matter if your kid is 7 or 18, they want to win.
Right.
So now that puts the referees, yes, coaches are under pressure, but look at the pressure that's putting on referees to make the right calls, or what the interpretation is of a right call. I know you do a lot of mentoring.
I enjoy doing that because, I just want to help out.
Yeah.
and I want to give them about my experiences. And I'm a national referee coach for U.S. Soccer, and I also work as an independent contract for pro. And there, because I want to give my experiences, not that all my games were hunky-dory, no.
Yeah.
I lasted over 35 years, 30 years, because of my good decisions and my not so good decision. So where I bring it in, I first connect with the younger referees. And I ask them questions, what worked well for you, what didn't work, why, and could you do a little differently? Make them think. The kids these days are smart.
Sure.
Kids are they know that a lot of it's a lot of things available. The laws of the game is available on the iPhone or smartphone.
Right.
You can go to the desktop. You can see clips. You can see the games. You can analyze. You can get everything is available. It's a different era than ours.
Sure.
They have opportunities.
Yeah.
It's getting more opportunity. The league is getting bigger. U.S. soccer is getting bigger. Pro is getting bigger.
Right.
More teams, more games, more money, more investment.
But we're losing referees, or we're not having would you say we're not having as many apply, or are we actually losing them?
Well, it's hard to say, but we are having problem with dealing with the benches and the coaches and the parents. There's some area that we do need a lot of improvement. Because there's a lot of talent out there. But the thing is, they must understand there's certain age, like you cannot push a 6 or 7 year old kid the way you do a 12 or 13 or 14. And the thing is, there's teams for every level.
Sure.
You don't have to play Real SoCal. You don't have to play big league if you don't have the talent. You can play AYSO. Our job is to have more soccer players. I don't care. I don't care what level they play. Not everybody's going to play for a national team.
Right.
Not everybody was going to, But my job is to promote the beautiful game and have more players, more referees, and more. So then in turn, I come around and talk to them. Hey, where are you going to school? Get a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You going to go back east? You want to go to San Luis Obispo? That beautiful place. So UCLA? Nice. Stanford? You got good grades? And I encourage them in not just soccer,
Right.
in other things, because I've worked with a lot of younger ones who played professional, who played for national team, and makes me feel good when I see them.
Yeah. But I always think, what is the end goal? What are parents looking for with the travel with young kids? You mentioned about there's recreational leagues, having fun, enjoying the beautiful game. But since we are in a results-based kind of society, everyone wants to jump to that high level. I'm in this club, I'm in that club. Is there a way that we can change that mindset?
Well, the thing is, the total system on the top is pay for play, or the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not here to discuss that and that.
Sure.
Because they both have pros and cons.
Of course.
Because once you pay for play, you're going to lose a lot of talented player who could be playing for national team, but because their parents can't afford it, they could,
Right.
But the other thing is also, you need to be realistic with them. You just tell them, hey, everybody's thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Mexico. I don't have to worry about my grade, and I'm not going to go to Mexico, play national team, or play for the clubs, and it makes a lot of money. But they don't understand that this is also competitive. You
Sure.
need to follow your education. You need to try to have a good grade, so you have options. Your job is to do your best on the field. You have talent, maybe you don't have a good grade. You're going to play junior college instead of playing in Division 1, Division 2, get a higher education. And then by then, every 4 or 5 years, you learn more and you can have options. Hey,
Right.
maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to go to Europe. I don't know. Maybe, but they need to have everything. But the parents some of the parents are a little bit too much.
Again, well, there you go. And we're talking about this on this podcast about what is it that we're screaming about? What are we trying to achieve? You've done it all. You're a coach. You're obviously a high-level referee. But let's get back to like the intensity from spectators on the sideline. How do you handle that as a referee? But how do you teach your younger referees to deal with that type of intensity?
Yeah. I tell them, to be honest with you, it all starts with the referee. It all starts with us. Okay. You need to know the laws of the game. You need to be strong. You need to be fit. You need to know the game. You need to know what's foul is, game management, player management. You need to be fit. You need to be in the right position.
Yeah.
And then you come in a point of strengths. You cannot be not running, not working hard, and then demand all the parents to be quiet because, well, you got to be in the correct position. You're working your movement. You got to be decisive. You got to take care of injury, timely. You got to take care of subs. There are a lot of little things that you can do.
Right.
Okay. You have to take care of injured player. You have to deal with the. Okay. Then when you do your job, then you can come at the point of the first 10, 15 minutes. If somebody's interfering with you, okay, I'm not going to teach you what I would do in the old days, but I'm teaching you connect, deal with the coach to say, hey, I'm not going to allow this. You're going to take care of your spectator.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, I appreciate you saying this because what it sounds like to me is you're holding your referees also accountable.
Oh, yes.
That maybe some of the vibrata, if you will, from the sidelines is because maybe the referees aren't sharpened up on the laws of the game. Maybe they don't know. I mean, I think parents are becoming more savvy and understanding soccer.
Right.
So, I mean, I appreciate you saying that because if you're saying, not that anyone needs to be abused, but if people are questioning your calls because you're not up to date, is that fair?
But you can explain to them. What I'm saying, you can explain to them exactly what the laws of the game says. Like somebody, I'll give you an example. Nowadays, if somebody commits a foul that stops a promising attack, okay, it's less visible because it's cynical hold. Whereas it's this reckless tackle is visible. Everybody sees that. Everybody sees the player got hurt. Everybody expects the card. Okay, well, now, U.S. Soccer, FIFA, UEFA, CONCACAF, if you stop a promising attack, okay, cynical hold, it's caution. But you need to know that, okay? But you also need to know where you are. And then somebody says, why did he give a caution? You just tell him. He stopped number 7, stopped number 6. If he hadn't done that, he had an opportunity to score a goal. That's it. Exactly what the book says. That's it. And you have the last word. It's not like talk. No. I have work to do. 22 players or 11 players or 22nd, whatever, players are waiting for me.
Yeah. Well, that's, again, I mean, I love that you're saying these things. So you feel, I mean, in your opinion, that it's okay for a referee to have some sort of explanation.
That was my specialty.
Okay.
I started refereeing when I was 30 years old. I'll give you an example. Too late, too old. But I loved the game.
Really?
At the time, it was a different era.
Okay.
I started in 91.
Okay.
And then it was a different era, you know. And then they said, hey, you want to be a state referee? I said, yeah, why not? Why? Well, you go to state, you do an assessment, you get more money. I said, oh, good, make more money. I said, okay, I'll do more money. Yeah, okay, no problem. Then, I became a state referee in 96, And then they said, oh, you want to be a national referee? National what? You do bigger games, you go different places. I said, sure, more money. And then in 2000, I became a national referee at the age of 40. 40 is old. Not in regular life.
Right.
I'm 66 right now. Okay? I was national referee, U.S. Soccer. Thank God for Cooper test. Because almost everybody passes.
Right.
Anyway, so I was like 50 years old. And when they changed it to beep test, I couldn't be even trained. I wasn't fit. I was too old. And then U.S. Soccer says, oh, you want to be a national assessor? I said, sure, why not? I want to be involved.
Yeah.
And only few selected national referee become a U.S. Soccer assessor. And I became an assessor and became a national referee coach. I'm still active, coaching, helping. And I do all level. It doesn't have to
Right,
be,
right.
it doesn't have to be a professional level.
But again, you've done international matches. You're a national guy. Do you ever find it comical if you're doing a U14 game and someone's like, "Ref, you don't know what you're doing."
Yes, I see it. But then again, they don't see the best. They don't
Right.
know the best.
Right.
You have to teach them. It's amazing that when sometimes I do games, the coaches, the Real Soccer, or LAFC coach, for example, or whatever, high school or whatever. I have reffed them when they played for UCLA. I have reffed them when they played for
Right.
Cal Lutheran.
Right,
I have reffed
right.
them when UCSB. So then you see, they know you.
Yeah,
But the players,
yeah.
they don't know you.
Right.
You still have to work hard.
Right.
You still have to show that you are a good referee.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I'm loving what you're saying because again,
This is the truth.
it is the truth, and I love the fact that you are taking accountability
Oh yeah.
for referees in terms of continuous education, learning the laws of the game, explaining, giving explanation. I mean, that's great, but that doesn't always happen because you've actually ref some of my games.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. You do a great job. But we've had referees show up who automatically come with an attitude themselves, and that causes clash right before the whistle blows for the kickoff. Why do you think that is? I mean, is that just a personality of maybe some people, or is it to establish I'm in control?
It's all of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above. And the problem is because we need referees, we have to put up with some of that. It's not acceptable. It's not. But the bottom line is survival of the fittest. They're not going to last.
Yeah.
But we do need bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We do need bodies. And excuse me. The thing is only the fittest will survive. You gotta have the humility. You have to know the laws. You have to bend it. You have to somehow massage around the laws of the game. If the team is running 4-0, 5-0, you gotta give him control of a penalty. It's okay. And they're telling me, I'm sorry, it's Christmas time, or Hanukkah time, whatever. Just come up with something. That's why it lasted that long, because everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Well, the other day, I didn't even call it was like 4-1 or 5-1 or something like that. It was 5-0 when I gave a penalty, and I told the coach, I said, sorry coach, they drove all the way from Santa Barbara. He said, what's that got to do with it? I said, listen, don't worry, he's happy, you're happy, they got a long drive,
Yeah.
Is it acceptable? No. Is it good? No, but that's what it is,
Yeah. What about cards? Because that's when people will just go
Right.
ridiculously crazy when a card is given or a card is not given. When you're mentoring young referees, talk about the cards. Do you encourage them to show yellow cards
No.
to keep control of the game? No.
If people who know me, they know, no. You have to have personality. Starts with, before that, you have to love the game. You have to know why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You're an arbiter. You're like a judge.
Mm-hmm.
You have the laws of the game as a guide. 7 versus 7. You can give 7 for yellow card, 7 for red card.
Hmm.
Some of them are judgment. You can go in there, same play, you can give a yellow card.
Yeah.
And I know, because it's not for me, you can manage it.
Right.
Right? If it's 100%, if you're in the goal line
Right.
and you stop the ball, you stop it, you can't just say, hey, don't do it again. You have to give it.
Right.
Because then you are not following the laws of the game. But there are times, so the cards are help you manage the game. If it's not 100%, can you manage it? Manage it.
Right. Right.
But it doesn't start in the 80th minute. It doesn't start in the
Right.
70th minute. It starts from the beginning.
Right.
It all starts with you working hard, talking to the player.
Mhm.
Hey, I see it. Come on, late tackle. You're gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Come on. I don't know. Just if you're funny, use it. If you're fast, use it. If you have a sense of humor, use it.
Wow.
If you're not funny, don't joke around because it's gonna backfire.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I didn't have the fitness because I started, as I say, I started like 30 years old, 40 years old for the top echelon games, NCAA games.
Right.
But I had personality. That's the truth. And I would joke around with them and I would have varying my personality. I talk to them, I smile at them, I yell at them. I don't propose that type of officiating.
Right.
Because that's old school. But it helped me become successful. But I don't teach that type of referee.
Yeah, but that's interesting. You say that that's old school. So we've had to change over the years, and why?
Because of the interpretation, the laws of the game changed. We didn't have at the time. We had stopping the promising attack, okay. But because it was cynical, it wasn't visible. We only dealt with physicality.
Right.
Somebody kicked the ball away, delaying the restart. Technically, you have to give the point of emphasis.
Sure.
You have to give. Technically, yeah. So when they give you a point of emphasis, which is a lower echelon of the laws of the game,
Right.
give you every confederation, UEFA, FIFA, you got CONCACAF, you got the NCAA, you got everybody.
Yeah, sure.
It's got their own point of emphasis. But this even that this is the guide.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you mentioned NCAA Pro Youth.
You have to know where you are. You have to know where your customers are.
Yeah.
Is it under seven aside? Is it 7 years old or 18 years old? Is it UCLA Stanford game or is it junior college game?
Yeah.
You got to know where you are. And
Where would you say though? Where would you say maybe you take the most heat verbally from coaches, spectators? At what level? Or does it vary?
me personally, or
Yeah.
or the general referees.
General referees.
General referees would be from the spectators, in the younger ages.
In the younger ages.
In the younger ages, see, they have more people coming watching. The mom and dad are coming.
Yeah. But again, think about that, and you've said it. That kids are watching the good, the bad, the ugly.
They remember that.
And so if it's more prevalent with the youth, how's that setting them up for the future and older ages?
And then, the other thing is that they're interfering with the coaching. So the coaching, Monday through Friday, tells them, hey, I want this over here, right? And then so the coaches, the players are confused. What do you want me to do? The other thing is there's too much coaching.
Yeah.
There's too much coaching. It's like robotic. This is not NFL. This is not, okay, quarterback, you go over there, I'm going to throw you the ball. No. They have to develop their thinking. They have to make mistakes. Okay, today you pass. Tomorrow you dribble. Then you're going to go pass it. Try different things. They need to learn. The thinking is like, no, you can't just follow it.
No, you're right, but it goes back to what you said earlier. Results based. It's the trophies, it's the medals around the neck, it's I'm state cup champion or whatever it may be, and we're losing out on fundamentals, teaching technical, but I also feel like we're losing out on fun.
Yep.
The word fun, in my opinion, is being taken out of youth sports. I go and watch many U8, U10 games. And my heart is racing because the spectators are just so intense. The coaches are so intense. The anger towards the players, the anger towards the referees.
Yep.
Can we change that?
We can try. We have to try. And then I think one of the things is try to put the kid in the right environment. Because some of the tournaments that I go to, I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was in San Diego, or I go to San Diego. I've been going to San Diego for Surf Cup or different cups, Blues Cup and Surf Cup and Pegasus and whatever, since '96.
Mm-hmm.
you know, nomads. I mean,
Sure.
surf and
Sure.
nomad. And that's where I learned. And plus, it was a great environment for me to grow. A competitive youth game,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful city, beautiful beach, everything was beautiful.
Sure.
You know, I would take my family in a hotel. They would give me a hotel and just, you know, for like close to 30 years, I would go into San Diego. And then there's some good tournaments there. You know, it's getting more expensive. But then again, you just have to find the right environment for your kid.
Right. Right.
You don't want to give him too much and not too little, you know.
Yeah.
And then give him opportunities. Give him the opportunities.
Well, I think you said the key word, and that is try. We can try. And again, this podcast, this format is hopefully to help people try. Let's work together. Let's get better. The communication, like you're saying, again, I appreciate the fact that you we're open and honest about, referees need to take it into their hands, but continue to educate, continue to stay on top of the game, if you will, so that, everyone's going to make mistakes, but at least the interpretation of the laws of the game, they understand it. And they can explain it to a coach or that maybe unruly parent. But what would be ideal for you, for our future, to maybe cut down on some of the aggressive behavior towards referees? What can we do? Can we try to do something?
Of course, and we must. I personally, as a parent, is to try to get involved with your kid. But you're there to support. Your form of communication before and after is not like who are you playing, what are you going to win, how many scores, stuff like that. No, they're going to say, okay, you know what? Where are we going to go for lunch? Where are we going to go for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
You want In-N-Out burger?
Yeah.
You want orange drink?
Right.
You okay? You need shoes? You like shoes? How do your shoes fit? Something. Make them interested.
Right.
Your presence, your kids, the parents' presence is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people take it for granted. My parents never watched me as a kid, as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because they were working.
Right.
You know, and they were working. It's just, but I don't blame them. But there are a lot of opportunities that parents can get involved.
Yeah.
And as a support. Because the kids, I'll tell you what, they remember that. The good and the bad and the ugly.
I agree. I agree with that. I'm just hoping, and I'm trying to do my little piece here with this podcast to just bring down some of the levels of intensity, especially with our young ones. I call them the itty bitties. The itty bitties, they don't, in my opinion, they don't need all of this pressure.
Okay.
There's so much going on in our world and our society. I bring back fun. I want kids at the younger ages to have fun, not going home crying, feeling as though they were a failure at 7 years old because they didn't do this or that what mom and dad wanted them to do. Mom and dad is screaming at them. Mom and dad screaming at the referees. It's just not a healthy environment. I just don't see it as a healthy environment.
And hopefully more of the parents, they get more involved and then let the coaches do the coaching.
That's right.
If you want to talk to the coach privately, it's fine. You have the prerogative, But don't get involved because the players are confused.
Yeah.
Game day. Should I cross it? Should I pass it? There is no point of teaching, learning, making mistakes. Let them miss the mistakes. You think somebody told Messi how to play? No, they just try different things.
Yeah.
Of course there's an exception, but the most important that the kid's going to remember is like, how did my parents react? It could be positive.
Yeah.
It could be positive, and it must be more positive than more negative.
If you don't mind me asking, because it just popped into my mind.
Anything.
Is there one moment as a referee for you that stood out, that felt as though the spectator coach, wow, they crossed the line?
Yeah, of course. I mean, remember soccer is a passionate game. It's a passionate game, and some ethnicity are more passionate than the others.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that. I mean, you need to know that to become a successful referee. If you're doing if you're doing team from Argentina, a team from Russia, team from Armenia, team from England, or Ethiopia, those are different games. This is a different game. You need to be ready for different things. And I remember years ago at Fiesta tournament in Santa Barbara, it was like in the mid-90s, and I was at last field, and I gave a yellow card to some team from Europe. They chased me.
Wow.
Well, they didn't chase me. They followed me after the game because I gave the guy a yellow card for dissent, whatever. That was like, they chased me all the way from field number 8 at the end of UCSB grass field. That was before Ashton was Ashton. All the way to field number 1. And thank God for the Latinos, because I used to do Central Coast in the 90s, in 2000. And the second division, I remember the team, they surrounded me like Indians. They said, Ali, they used to call me Rudy. Rudy, aquí, por favor. And I said, come on. And they surrounded me. And then when they came in, they disappeared. Don't mess with our referee. Because in the Sunday League, I will referee them.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter, oh yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you're being followed to
Yeah.
your car, not knowing what is going to happen. And thank goodness for...
And look at this. Can you see this?
Oh, wow.
Okay. So this is a car key. Now this is a car key. This is a whistle. Okay? So I'm never going to get, if I get chased, I can just do the game and then go. And I learned it years ago from a Latino referee in Dwight Murphy. And I was doing his line years ago in the early 90s. And I saw him coming out, big, obese guy. And I said, oh, I was younger then, I said, okay, I'm watching. And he came out with his car key and his whistle and his car key. I said, ¿Qué pasa? Like, what's going on? What is this? Oh, he says, look, see my car's over there? I parked facing out. Not backing in, facing out. He says, you see. And I watched him referee the game.
Wow.
He was horrible. He was horrible. I said, horrible. And I said, oh my God, now I know why he cares. So no, that's not the reason I'm horrible. It's just like, I never get locked out.
Right.
I never get locked out. I always have. I have a reserve in the truck, but I always get locked out.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I truly, truly respect what referees do, what you do, continuing to mentor, continuing to make this game what it should be in terms of the little ones, the itty bitties, all the way up to you refereeing international games. It's wonderful. I'm grateful for what you do. And like I said, the way I opened up this podcast was
I appreciate it.
I was one of those coaches that got after referees.
No, you were always nice.
Yeah, but I'm like, come on, ref!
No, but that's remember, that's the passion of the game.
Yeah.
That's not you're not calling me bald head.
No.
Even though I am. And like people would call me, seriously, it's like, hey, pelon.
But
It's like,
But see, that's where it's gone.
No. But the way you deal with it is, okay, I know I'm bald. What's up? What's the problem? Why are you even questioning that I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, but that's where it goes way over the line. When you start disrespecting people, name calling, that's way over the line. But yeah, you did one of my games. I remember you did one of my CIF playoff games, and a foul was called or something, and I'm like, Rev, come on! And I loved what you did. You looked at me, you smiled just like that, and you said, Coach, and you gave me the breakdown. There was nothing I could say.
Yeah.
There was nothing I could say because you were right with your call. You explained it, but the smile took away my anger, took away my, whatever. And like you said, you have to know how to deal with certain situations. And you dealt with that beautifully.
Thank you.
And I actually felt kind of like I needed to tuck my tail, like, oh man, he just really put me in my place.
No, I mean, you got to let them talk. You
Yeah.
don't, as a referee, you don't have to have the last word. We are still in the process of educating and learning ourselves and educating the players. I mean, I'm doing 7-a-side, the chiquitas, I call them chiquitas, the little ones. you know, I tell them how to throw. I told them, are you okay? Are you sorry? Are you good? You want me? You know how many shoelaces I tie every weekend? Beside the point.
Yeah.
The point is, you have to teach them because
Yes.
kids at that age are like a sponge.
Yeah. Yes.
They learn. They know.
But you're tying their shoelaces and they're having fun.
And the mom says, okay. I said, don't worry. I'm gonna come back. $1 a piece. We got $1 a piece. And they laugh. You know. But anyway, it's just a matter of having fun, making sure that they see you're having fun, and then try to do that. And you have to. I believe in accountability, opportunities, and accountability. You know, I can coach. I'm a custom coach. I can coach you ABC, and then you may have a different level of football understanding. It's nothing wrong with it. And I can teach you C, D, E, F. And then once you get that, then I can show you X, Y, Z. You know, everybody's in a different level. So when we talk, you kind of know their football understanding and just take them to the next level.
Well, I've enjoyed this. Ali,
Me too.
I appreciate you
I was
doing
happy to see you.
Yes!
I wasn't expecting it. Like, oh, this guy I know.
I know this guy.
I know this guy.
Yeah, no.
Nice guy on the sideline.
No, I really appreciate it because, again, you use the word try. I'm trying to do something to help continue to promote the game, but promote the game in a way that our young people are having fun. And so by putting this podcast out there, I thought about it for a long time. What is a way that I can give back? How can I give back to not just soccer, but youth sports, all sports? I want to be able to give back.
You can keep doing the same thing. You bring different people, like you say, you bring Shima, you brought me, you bring some parents, you bring another coach, you bring different level. We have to just keep trying.
Yeah.
Trying different level, and then if you connect with 50%, 60%, you did your part. The idea is you did your best to promote the game. Okay, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
You're trying. Not everybody else is trying.
No.
You know, when my wife, I did. Joy Hoffman a couple of years ago asked me for a podcast. I said sure. So he had an Audi. He was sitting in the car, and we talked. And all that. I said sure. I told my wife I live in Simi Valley. I said I don't care. The guy just wants me to promote.
Yeah.
He wants, I love giving. It doesn't matter. It can be any level. Instructions, coaching, talking. Hopefully, most people try to be aware.
Yeah.
Information. And then rethink their thinking.
Let's keep trying. Let's keep trying, and let's stop screaming. We're talking about what are we screaming about?
I'm not saying stop screaming. Minimize screaming.
No, minimize. Okay.
Ask questions.
Minimize is a great start.
Yes. Don't make comments. Ask questions in the right time.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I'm here. You ask question, I can enlighten you, but don't make comments. Sometimes I kind of go overboard. Okay, and I sometimes it's not really professional, but it works for me.
Yep.
Say, listen, you learn how to kick the ball, and then we can talk. Well, you shouldn't say stuff like that. Technically, you shouldn't promote it, but it connects with me and it shush them up. I said, let the kids play.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
they're gonna remember that. But good and the bad. And
Ali, next time you referee one of my games, just give me that smile.
I'm gonna be on that side.
Just give me that smile, baby. Give me that smile.
No problem.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on.
No
what
problem.
are we screaming about? I'm
No.
loving it. And you gave us a lot of great insight
Thank you.
from the referee
Thank you. That was
standpoint. So thank you, my man.
No problem. Thank you very much.
All right.